Hey everybody, I'm going to try and shoot this video in one take. We'll see how that goes. It's going to be about my equipment, the things I use on a weekly or daily basis when I'm training, that I use personally. And I don't get paid for them, which is why I'm telling you about them. Because if I don't get paid for them and I'm telling you about them, that means I must use them for a reason, because they work, they're durable, they're cheap, and so forth and so on. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is my shoes. I like to run as well, surprisingly to some people. Any running shoes will do. However, when I'm lifting, going about my day, I prefer a minimal shoe with no rise, so flat sole, and a wide toe box, because that's more comfortable, less injury. So when I'm doing strongman, powerlifting, etc., I go with barefoot shoes. Right here, I like these ones are old and a bit beat up. I like the high top style. It's the Ursus, I believe it's pronounced, high top, barefoot, B-E-A-R-F-O-O-T. Despite how thin the material and how thin the sole, they're actually quite durable, and they're the most comfortable shoe I've ever worn. So I wear them on a daily basis. I also wear them definitely for strongman and powerlifting stuff. Moving on from there, let's talk about belts. So here we have my powerlifting style belt that I use obviously for the big three, squat, bench, and deadlift, but also for a lot of strongman stuff. This here is an old school Inzer 2-prong belt, which I still stand by. Not a huge fan of the lever because I fluctuate weight, so I don't want to have to remove screws and change the lever position, but I can just use a 2-prong belt with holes. You'll see it's starting to fray here on the end, but that's because I have had this belt for more than a decade. I don't remember when I bought it. That's how long I've had it. Super durable. It's a 13 millimeter variety. And I go with Inzer because they've been making powerlifting gear forever for powerlifters, and they're made in the USA. So Inzer 2-prong powerlifting belt. So why use a belt, you ask? Because it gives you something to brace against. It is not a requirement. You can lift your entire life without using one, but if you want to put up numbers, it definitely does help, particularly in powerlifting meet. So when you are doing your Valsalva and bracing and flexing your abdominals, gives you something firm to push out against. So I recommend Inzer. I-N-Z-E-R. Speaking of Inzer, here it is right here. If you're going to use suits, this is a deadlift suit used for strongman. I am not a big fan of equipped powerlifting. That being said, some strongman meets have events that you are allowed to wear a deadlift suit. And I'm not going to go in there raw if everyone else is using a suit, which is why I have actually 2 of these. Again, I go with Inzer, and I'll tell you why. Several years ago, for a strongman competition, I needed a suit quickly because the one I had before did not fit, the one that I ordered. So I ordered an Inzer and put in the notes how quickly I needed it. And a physical, actual customer service person from Inzer in Texas, I think is where they were calling from, called me, asked me how quick I needed it, and they expedited my order for no additional money. So a real-life American company with actual human customer service that makes fantastic equipment. And that's why I use it, Inzer. Speaking of fantastic companies that I use a ton of stuff for, next we're going to talk about Cerberus. C-E-R-B-E-R-U-S. Cerberus. I use a lot of their gear. They're primarily a strongman company, but they make other stuff too. So my wrist straps, Cerberus. Wrist straps, another thing, I wouldn't call it necessary, but if you're going for a big press of some kind or other type of lifts and you need wrist stability, it will definitely help. Another style of belt. This is a soft belt, more flexible for things like strongman when you're doing more moving around. This again is a Cerberus belt. So I use this for some things, and I use it in combination with my Inzer powerlifting belt sometimes too. So more Cerberus. Figure 8 straps. I use both Cerberus and Cobra grips. figure 8 strap you can learn more about by watching my video about chalk grips and straps. Moving on from there, more Cerberus. These are my Cerberus knee sleeves. These are a long style. I believe these are a 7mm knee sleeve. Why would I want to wear a knee sleeve, you ask? Good question. It's another piece of equipment that isn't necessary per se, but it helps keep your joints warm. The thicker ones give you a little bit of spring, a tiny bit out of your lifts. If you're old like me, it really gives you a little stability and warms up the joints. I also use Ray-Ban equipment. This is my knee elbow sleeves. R-E-H-B-A-N, Ray-Ban. Again, same concept as the knee sleeves. This company makes great ones as well. Recently, I've been wearing neoprene shorts. Started doing that when it was cold in the old Imperia gym here throughout the winter. After I destroyed my hamstrings and injured myself at the 2021 Rainier Classic Strongman competition. So I started wearing neoprene shorts. They're very tight, provide compression, and most importantly to me, warmth. It's like wearing a diving suit. Warms you up quickly, keeps the muscles warm. So that is my shorts that I wear. Last but not least, we have tacky. We got a heavy duty tacky. It's again Cerberus. And I had a Will Development lighter tacky. Something I used at USS Strongman Nationals. And it is a little bit lighter and easier to wash off. Let me know if you have any questions about gear and equipment in the comments. Make sure you follow us, like us here, and on Instagram and Facebook.